If you outline the rules of a vampire, the traits are universally understood. Immortal predators that burn in the sun, shrink from garlic, bear elongated fangs, and drink human blood. These stories spiked in 18th century Eastern Europe, echoing through the rural villages of Transylvania. Victorian writers like Bram Stoker gathered these scattered regional tales and locked them into the pop culture icon we know today. But what if the monster they feared was actually a severely ill human being? The prime suspect is a rare genetic blood disorder called porphyria, specifically severe forms like Gunther disease. Centuries ago, people had no concept of genetics or enzyme mutations to explain sudden, devastating physical illnesses. The visible symptoms of porphyria mirror the physical traits long associated with the folkloric vampire. These myths provided pre-scientific communities with a narrative framework to categorize and respond to the physical consequences of a disease they could not otherwise name. Consider the vampire's legendary fatal weakness to the sun. This diagram illustrates the body's normal process of creating heme, a vital molecule for oxygen transport. In a patient with porphyria, a genetic mutation breaks this assembly line. Instead of heme, toxic precursor molecules called porphyrins rapidly accumulate inside the body. These excess porphyrins are highly sensitive to long-wave ultraviolet light. When exposed to the sun, they trigger a violent chemical reaction under the skin. This reaction causes severe blistering, burning, and tissue damage. A patient's nocturnal existence resulted from a forced medical quarantine to escape the agony of daylight. The disease attacks human tissue. Outbreaks cause severe facial scarring and force the gums to recede. As the gums pull back, they expose more of the tooth structure, making ordinary human teeth look terrifyingly elongated, exactly like an animal's fangs. Patients also develop a condition called erythrodontia, where the excess porphyrins settle directly into the bone. This stains the teeth a deep reddish-brown color that looks exactly like the aftermath of a fresh blood meal. As for the bloodlust itself, early medical historians suggest desperate doctors may have encouraged these patients to drink animal blood, hoping their digestive tracts would absorb the missing heme to relieve their pain. Then there is the garlic myth. Garlic contains naturally high levels of sulfur. Sulfur actively inhibits the body's ability to synthesize heme. For someone suffering from severe porphyria, eating garlic would trigger an agonizing, life-threatening attack. The bloody fangs and the violent aversion to garlic functioned as the tragic, visible markers of a body breaking down and a biological instinct to survive. Without understanding these symptoms, societies reacted with violence. They hunted, staked, and executed these patients, convinced they were battling demons. The narrative shifted in the late 19th century when doctors and chemists began using laboratories to analyze blood pigments and urine samples. As the complex chemistry of the blood came into focus, the medical community finally recognized these individuals as patients requiring institutional care. Medical science replaced panic with empathy, dismantling horrific myths by simply diagnosing the chemistry underneath. Looking back at the biology reveals a devastating human cost hidden inside the folklore. The individuals buried at crossroads with stakes driven through their chests were the sickest, most vulnerable members of their communities. The vampire myth persists as a record of the human cost of ignorance, a legacy of fear that turned those who needed help into the monsters of our nightmares.